getting free money is too hard. I get it. It has $150 in rewards, right? And I'm like, girl, you know you could have paid your bill with this. You know you could have put that in your bank account. You know this could have saved you this could have saved you like 2 months of payment. I'll never pay this company a dime, but this company is going to be paying my phone bill for me for years to come. So now I got $50 off my next phone bill, and I got another 10 so far. And I've only had the card for 7 days. Welcome back, YouTube. You are now rocking with the best, Amber Manaya. Today, we are going to discuss what you do when you actually get that new credit card in the mail. How do you use it? I don't think anybody ever thinks about this. I think people just are like, okay, I got it. No strategy. Just move on with life. Not me. I'm very strategic. So I'm going to walk you through what I do when I get that credit card in the mail. So if you haven't seen my last video where I show you how to strategically apply for the credit card so you get the best approval, so you don't get denied, and so you get the best credit limit that's available to you. Okay, so now we've got that card in the mail. This is one of my most recent cards. It's not a common card. It's a T-Mobile credit card. Why? Because I have my phones, all of my phones are on T-Mobile. I used to get, of course, the $5 auto pay discount with T-Mobile, and then I could use my credit card to pay the bill, which means I would get 1.5% back because that was the card I was using. And then they stopped it to where they came out with their own credit card, T-Mobile, connected with Capital One, and they decided that if you don't have this credit card, now you don't get $5 off for each line per month. As well, you can only use a bank account. So that means now I'm using debit or cash, which means I'm not making any money on the money I used to make by paying my phone bill. So I was very hesitant to get this T-Mobile card. The reason why I was hesitant is because I had owed Capital One money in the past, and this T-Mobile card is linked with Capital One. So if you ever get anything off your credit, which was taken off my credit, if you ever get anything off of your credit, you don't go and apply to that company again, because it can resurface on your credit what you've owed them if it hasn't been the 7 years, right? So last month, I was getting approved for everything, and I was just like, well, they sent me an email like, hey, apply for the T-Mobile card. You're pre-approved. And I was like, y'all do know I had an issue with y'all in the past. But I said, you know what? I'm not applying for anything anytime soon. If it comes back on my credit, there's nothing, I can get it off type things. So I went ahead and applied, and I was approved. I will say, though, Capital One, I've noticed lately, they will approve you and then they'll restrict it because they want to make sure it's actually you and not somebody else. So because I had this happen to a niece of mine when she applied she got 2 cards at the same time, and they restricted her Capital One right away, told her that she needed to verify her identity. Same thing happened with this, because at first I was like, oh, did they realize? But no, so here we are. It didn't make anything come back onto my credit, though. Maybe it's because it's an off branch as in T-Mobile, because I have realized when it's an off branch of the bigger company, they treat you like a new person. Now, when I go apply for Capital One, which I'm not going to do, they'll probably be like, hold up, no. So let's dive into the card. As well, I may have forgotten to mention, one of the perks of getting this card with the pre-approval is if you're approved for the card, because a pre-approval is not an actual approval. It's, hey, we might be trying to lend this to you. They've done their soft pull kind of thing. $50 statement credit on your cell phone bill. So I'm going to get a $50 statement credit. Actually, I've already gotten it, which is nice. $50 off my bill. I've had this card for maybe like 7 days now. And, I haven't actually used the physical card, but it's been in my Apple Wallet, and I've been using it for everything. I already see $10 cash back in my rewards bucket. So now I got $50 off my next phone bill, and I got another 10 so far. And I've only had the card for 7 days. Phone bills are going to look a lot smaller, and I'm okay with that with this 2%. But these are things you never want to get a credit card that's not giving you any perks. Of course, they're giving me these perks because they're hoping that I'm going to run this card up and I'm not going to pay the bill. I'm going to rack up interest, and I'm going to be paying them for 25 years interest-wise, right? That's not how I do it. That's how the untrained eye is going to attack it. But I'm going to attack it a lot differently. I'll never pay this company a dime, but this company is going to be paying my phone bill for me for years to come. And in 2 to 3 years, I can sell my authorized users as trade lines and make extra money. Why not? Not gonna lie to you, I already opened the card, of course. This is not how most cards come, because most cards come with more information. But when I applied for this card, I had already read through the perks. I already knew I wanted it. So let me just show you what's in here. Credit limit account number. The cute little card. Okay. So why I like this card is because you get 2% cash back on everything, on everyday purchases. Most credit cards give 1% or 1.5. This one gives 2. So honestly, this is about to be one of my main cards right now, one of them, because I still do have cards with other categories that are going to give 3% or 5% in certain categories. But I like 2% on everyday spending. So that's what really got me. Yes, like I said, this is going to be my main of cards. More benefits, we got you. So no annual fee. Because normally when you get a card and you flip it over, it's going to tell you all how much everything costs kind of thing. So I was a little sad that that's not here, but I already know how much things are going to cost, and it's really nothing. So no annual fee, $5 off per line per month, which is what I used to get. Now I'm going to get again. Rewards that never expire, maximize your savings. Oh, if I buy anything, like if I get a new phone or anything, I get 5% cash back. I don't buy new phones very often. Anyways, and I can use this money towards the phone bill. Like if I do all my spending on one card, my phone bill is probably gonna be free every month. I'm just saying. So if you're interested in the T-Mobile card, they give 2% back. This is not what I thought it was. This looks like the fee schedule. It's not. So normally I would look into that. Then they have all these benefits. First of all, nobody reads this stuff. This is all a bunch of, like, I'm strategic and I go the extra mile, but I'm not about to read this in however many languages. So we just gonna pretend that never happened. Okay. But I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, then hey, most people are not. More card member agreement. There's not even, I looked in here, there was no fees. Like, it doesn't tell me about the fees, but again, I already know the fees. So honestly, nothing in there is what I was hoping for, but I already know most of what I need to know about this card. The first thing that I'm going to do when I get this card, of course, is activate it. I'm going to go online to the online portal. I'm going to create the account. Now I have a Capital One bank account, so it just adds to my whole thing. I didn't have to make a new login, which is good. But you want to log into this credit account. You want to click around. You want to see, hey, does it offer balance transfer? Can I add authorized users? Does it offer cash advance? You want to see everything. You want to see where the rewards portal is, how I can redeem my rewards. The reason why I say you want to go in and look at these things is because I had a friend, we looked at her credit. She knew her credit was in the trash. I was trying to figure out how we can get it out of the trash. We go into her Capital One. It was her Capital One. It had been charged off. I click on it. I go and see that she has $150 in rewards, right? And I'm like, girl, you know you could have paid your bill with this. You know you could have put that in your bank account. You know this could have saved you this could have saved you like 2 months of payment. But if you don't go in and see how your rewards work, you lose them. If you're going to use a credit card and you're not going to take the rewards, there's no point. I wouldn't use a credit card unless they were giving me rewards. Go use cash at that point. You have to know what this card is offering you. If it's balance transfer, cash advance, points, $150, oh, I would have been sick. Because we could have saved her account, but it was too late because she showed this to me and it was already progressed into a bad state. Most cards are not going to tell you your due date and your statement date right away. It takes maybe about 2 weeks before you know what your due date is. So as soon as you know what your due date is, put this on the calendar. You're not going to know your statement date until you get your first statement. And sometimes it does vary, a few days in between. But you basically, once they tell you what your due date is, you pay it on the due date. Do not use it until you get a statement. Then you kind of have a general idea of what day the statement comes out. And then every month, even if you know the statement date, if you realize it's going to fluctuate, just don't use the card until you get your statement or until you get your email, until you go look and see that your statement is there. How exactly do you want to use this card? You want to use this card for everything. You want to max out this card. You want to pretend like it's your only card for now, unless you have another card that is giving you perks in a certain category that are higher. Do that. But for anything that this card is going to give you the max amount of points out of all of your cards, you want to use it. You want to max it out. You want to pay it multiple times in a month. You want to do this so much, but you also want to remember, I'm only doing this until the due date, and then I'm waiting until the statement comes out, and then I'm going to do it again. What does this do? It lets the card company know that, hey, you gave me this limit, but you might need to raise my limit because I'm obviously using more than what you're giving me. Most people are like, I don't need higher limits. Higher limits are going to help lower your utilization. If you ever want to sell your trade lines, they come in handy. When you want to get approved for anything else coming in the future, you want to have higher limits. If you come over to me with a $500 limit, I'm like, oh, you can't handle too much. But if I see that over the last year, you've increased that limit from 500 to 2K to 8K to 16K, you're doing something right. And I think I can work with you. So it's not that, hey, I need more money to use. It's, hey, let me show you how responsible. Give me more so I can show other people how responsible I am too. Now, this card doesn't have any intro offers. I'm going to be making another video for the next card I get that has intro offers because you want to be strategic about those. So I'm just going to just breeze past that. You want to have a map of, hey, which card do I use for groceries? Because which card gives me the most % cash back on groceries, gas, everyday spending, streaming services, whatever it is. You want to have a map of it. I personally have a map of what's giving me 5%. Which card is giving me, there's really no cards that give 4%. I haven't seen that. I see 5, 3, 2, and 1, and 1.5. You want to map out, and you want to have those cards on you at all times, or you want to have them in your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet so that you're getting the most cash back on your money. Be very strategic. I get it. If it's 1% on everything, you don't have to be strategic. But if you have cards that are offering you 3% on groceries, take it. Why would you go get 1% on groceries when you can get 3% on groceries? And people think this is too hard. Getting free money is too hard. I get it. As well, if this card had an intro offer, usually intro offers gives you like 12, 18 months that you don't have to pay the full balance before they start tacking on interest. If I had a card that had the intro offer for 12 or 18 months, I would just completely max out the card. I would pay the minimums until that 12-month hits, and then I would pay that balloon payment. And in the meantime, I'd be using other cards. So the strategy with that would not let the banks know I need more. It could let the banks know that I need more money, but I wouldn't be maxing it out, paying it off, maxing it out. And that's because there was an intro offer. So these are little things to think about and put into your strategy. I will say already T-Mobile is one of my favorite cards because of the 2%. I'm no longer going to be using any card that's giving me 1% or 1.5% on everyday spending. I had some good ones, and honestly, I wasn't even using anything that had 1%. Anything that had everyday spending at 1.5%, I'm no longer using. They're not going to close those cards on me, and I'm going to use them maybe like every blue moon kind of thing. But you want to keep those cards because I built history on them, and I built credit lines on them. So they're still making my credit look great. These are all things you want to take into account. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. If you want to get in touch with me, I have added my link tree to the description on every single video here. You can find it on my Instagram if you go on over there. Go ahead and you can DM me. I am just starting to do private consultations online. I used to do them in person. I'm working my way online. So if you are not in my vicinity, we can still get it done. Thank you for tuning in with me today. The next video will most likely be like a credit card review, one of those cards that are in my stack. By the way, this T-Mobile card was number 20. I know the last video that you may have come across, I had 20 credit cards. This was a 20. It just came in the mail. Have a great day.